Alright, we are live once again, live from my phone this time, so that's a welcome change this week, as we are here to talk about the college football playoff top 25 for week number 12. My laptop is acting a little funky, and that is why we're on my phone for this week's um, preview of the top 25 and whatnot and everything. So the top 10 stays exactly the same from last week. So we don't really have to talk about all that. Bama's still number one, dominating performance against Mississippi State, although they did struggle a little bit. Clemson's number two. They struggled a little bit against Boston College, but they still got the dub. Notre Dame is number three. They easily took care of Florida State. Fire Willie Taggart, please. Please fire Willie Taggart. He does not deserve to be a coach. God damn it. Michigan stays number four, obviously beating Rutgers. Really doesn't add much of anything. Number five is Georgia after beating Auburn pretty easily because Auburn is trash. Oklahoma number six after surviving a I'd say it was a good call by Mike Gundy to go for two on that 2 point conversion there, but it just was a poor throw by Cornelius. And yeah, Oklahoma stays at number six despite giving up like 600 yards of offense. But that's the way the Big 12 is. We just can't play defense to save our lives. Number seven, don't know why they're still there. LSU, in my honest opinion, they should be number 10 at the very least. Um, but I see why now that LSU is staying at number seven because of their strength of schedule and whatnot. Even though half of those games don't even matter anymore because Miami is trash and we all knew they were trash. Auburn is trash and we all knew they were trash. They don't have that magic anymore. There is no magic for Auburn anymore. Yeah. So LSU stays at number seven. Washington State, they still have work to do to get up into the top four. All they got to do now is just win out, beat Washington State in the Apple Cup, win the Pac-12 championship. That's all they got to do. That's really it, and just hope for the best. Um, so Gardner Minshew, Mike Leach, and the Cougs stay at number eight. Number nine is Will Greer and the fighting West Virginia Mountaineers, who are 8-1, and they have a tough test this week against Oklahoma State. Remember, Oklahoma State beat Texas. They took Oklahoma to the limit. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be a rough time for West Virginia. Hopefully, actually, never mind. They're not. There's gonna be no defense in that game either. Never mind. Ohio State struggled for the most part on offense against Michigan State, but they got the dub, and they're still sitting there at number 10. UCF, you're moving on up, baby. Number 11 in the nation at 9-0 with a 106th ranked strength of schedule. I know the committee was like, well, the strength of schedule and blah blah blah. It's okay, guys. It's okay. It's okay. You're at number 11 right now. You still have a 1% chance. Just 1%. That's all I'm giving you. It's 1% chance to get into that top four. You guys have a big test finally. There's a team that we'll be talking about a little bit later who's finally ranked for the first time all year long inside these committee rankings. Number 12 is Syracuse, an overrated ACC team who doesn't really have any wins, but then they have some losses that kind of puzzle me. The Pitt loss, especially now that Pittsburgh is kind of on the verge of winning the ACC Coastal. Um, and Clemson, of course, because they blew that game, which they should not have. Florida still sitting there at number 13 in all the land. Struggled against South Carolina for most of that game, but they found a way to pull it out in the end. And that's what they do. Somehow Penn State I guess they valued Wisconsin for some reason. Don't know why. Even though Wisconsin's trash, but I mean, Wisconsin's trash this year. Um, that's okay. They're above the number 15 team, my team, the Texas Longhorns. They moved up only 4 spots. Penn State 6 spots. Don't know why that is, but that's okay. Iowa State 6-3 in all the land moved up to number 16, and we gotta play them this week. The Longhorns do, and that Iowa State defense is scary. Kinda. I mean, they did beat West Virginia, but still, you gotta wonder, can we get the dub against Iowa State? They also have 3 losses. Kentucky, number 17, the Kentucky Wildcats. It's basketball season. You guys just need to get on somewhere. It's basketball season. Get your asses ready for basketball season. Oh wait, never mind. You guys lost to Duke in basketball, and you struggled for. Did y'all lose to Southern Illinois too? I can't remember. But this is not about basketball. This is not about basketball at all. Kentucky, number 17, after taking another L to Tennessee, the Tennessee Whiskey Volunteers, baby. I don't even know what they're ranked anymore. We all knew they were overrated for the most part, especially after taking that L to Tennessee, who also beat Auburn, by the way. Let's not forget. So Kentucky, don't know why they're ranked. 18 is Washington, 7-3 in all the land. And again, it's the same thing with Washington State. I mean, not Washington State, Washington, the Huskies. It's the same thing with the Huskies. They just got to win out, beat Washington State in the Apple Cup, and then you go into the Pac-12 championship, baby. That's all you got to do. Somehow Utah just climbed right back up in here after not being ranked last week. Now they're ranked again this week. I don't even know, man. I don't even know at this point, to be honest. It's a strange thing to be completely fair. What the committee has for and against Utah, like it's a love-hate relationship with them, and it sucks so much. So I feel for you, Utes. You probably should be at number 19 though. That's just my opinion. But there's so many 3-loss teams that you just can't really do anything about it. You can't really do much about it as far as these 3-loss teams go. You gotta put them somewhere. There's no 2-loss teams really left to do anything about it. Number 20, Boston College. They played Clemson tough for like a little while, and then their quarterback got injured. Then the guy who I was hyping up, A.J. Dillon, didn't really produce, and then Boston College just did some of the dumbest plays I've ever seen in my entire life. Like why are you throwing short passes on 3rd down and whatnot? It's frustrating to watch Boston College like that. It was frustrating to watch. And yeah, they're number 20 in all the nation. Number 21, Mississippi State, and I actually have no idea why they're even ranked at this point, because Mississippi State just doesn't have, like, they just don't have the wins, really. They don't have, they have all the losses to everybody. They've lost to LSU already. They've lost to Alabama already. You know, it's like, why are you guys still ranked? You only put up 3 points. You only put up 3 points combined against LSU and Alabama. That's ridiculous. Nick Fitzgerald, you gotta do something a little better, bro. You gotta learn how to throw the damn ball. Defense is still good. I mean, you allowed Alabama to only score 24. That's less than what LSU did. But still, why are you ranked? Why did the committee rank them? Why are they still in the top 25 at all? Northwestern is quite a surprise at number 24, the Big Ten West champion. And I know the pundits are gonna say, "Well, oh, let's get rid of conference championships. Let's just make it the top two teams like the Big 12." We all know that the Big 12's stupid plan of trying to keep getting a team into the playoffs each and every year. That's stupid. It's still stupid. And the way that some of these guys been saying it, like David Pollock and whatnot, it's just like, no, this isn't the way. Northwestern has earned it. They've earned the Big Ten West, and now they're gonna play the Michigan and Ohio State, and that could be both a good thing or a bad thing for those two teams that are in the top 10 if they play Northwestern. If you win, you're probably getting in. If you lose, you're out. If you lose, and if you lose in the game the week before, and the team that wins the game gets into the Big Ten Championship and loses the Big Ten Championship, well, there you go. There goes the Big Ten's playoff hopes. But I'll talk about that in a little bit later. Number 23 is not Washington State, Utah State, and I have been campaigning. A lot of people have been campaigning for them to be ranked, and now they finally are, because they only have one loss to Michigan State, who we'll talk about in a minute. But finally, Utah State is ranked. They've just been blowing teams out in the Mountain West out there. Mountain West is a sneaky good conference, to be honest. 7th best conference in the country. Cincinnati is now ranked at number 24. What took you so long, committee? There was a lot of teams that did not deserve to be ranked, like Auburn, who we'll talk about again in a minute. Cincinnati's finally ranked. That defense is very good. They're young. They're hungry. And now their toughest test, UCF's toughest test, is against them this Saturday night. Thank God. Because there's practically nothing on tap for Saturday. But anyway, Cincinnati is finally ranked at number 24. Here comes the Boise State bias, as Boise State is back in the top 25 at 8-2 after beating Fresno State. Coming back, beating them. Don't really know why they're ranked, but I mean, I guess I can accept that. I'm also looking at the other polls too, and I just want to say once again, why the hell is Army? Why the hell is UAB? Why are those two teams not even remotely close to being ranked? Where the hell is Buffalo at? Somebody's tell me something. There's gonna be a lot of Group of 5 teams that need to be ranked. They have to get up in here real soon, committee. You gotta stop with this bias. Finally, the ACC bias has kind of fell by the wayside, because now let's talk about these teams that dropped out. NC State, 14. I mean, NC State was already overrated as hell, and they shouldn't have been even remotely near the top 15. But kudos to the committee for getting them out of the rankings completely. Michigan State looked like dog shit again, and they fell out the rankings. Iowa lost to Northwestern, so boom, they're out the rankings. Fresno State lost to Boise State, they're out the rankings. Auburn, of course, lost to Georgia. That's their 4th loss. Good luck, Auburn, against Alabama. Good luck. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it a lot. I doubt that Auburn will even score more than 3 touchdowns. I had to seriously doubt that Auburn will do anything more than that. As far as playoff scenarios go, looking at the top 11, because Syracuse has 2 losses. LSU also has 2 losses. They're out. I'm sorry. I don't care about that number 1, number 2 strength of schedule that y'all have. Tigers of LSU, you are out. You have 2 losses. There's no way that a 2-loss team is getting in. Not this year. Alabama, all they need to do is win out, or they could just lose to Georgia or Auburn. It doesn't really matter. They're Alabama. Clemson, same thing, pretty much. All they need to do is just win out, or just lose to like Duke or something. But that might not happen. Alabama and Clemson are probably on a collision course anyway. We could just cancel the rest of the season, am I right? Or am I right? Notre Dame, all they need to do is win out. One loss is probably not going to cut it because the strength of the schedule has just not really been there anymore. Because most of these teams that they played, aside from like Michigan, Northwestern, have been utter complete garbage. Florida State, Virginia Tech, Stanford, trash. All trash. Especially disappointing. What a disappointment Stanford has been to me. Bryce Love was supposed to be a Heisman candidate. Now he's just, I don't know. Michigan, all they need to do is win out. No more losses, Michigan. No more losses, Ohio State. You two need to either beat each other. One of y'all's gonna have to beat each other in the game. And then you ain't gonna have to play Northwestern. You're gonna have to beat Northwestern. So if you don't beat Northwestern, that's really all you can say. Whoever wins the game needs to beat Northwestern. Okay, Georgia, they need to beat Alabama. Let's just be real. And it's looking like it's not really going to happen because Georgia's kind of not as good as last year, but you know, there's still a possibility that Georgia can get into the playoff. I haven't really watched a lot of Georgia in the last couple weeks anyway, so I wouldn't know much. I have been watching Oklahoma though, and Oklahoma's defense is still fucking garbage. So Oklahoma needs to fix it fast, and they need help. A lot of help. Top 5 control their destiny. And I agree with all the pundits and everything. The top 5 control everything. Bama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan, Georgia. They control their own destiny. They control where they get to go. But Oklahoma needs help. Oklahoma needs to beat West Virginia. Probably twice. Or Iowa State again. Or Texas. There's like so many possibilities. Same thing with West Virginia. I'll just tie those two in together because they have to play each other. Now because of the Big 12 being idiotic with the whole conference championship thing, we could see Oklahoma West Virginia twice in the next 2 weeks, so we could see Oklahoma Texas again. I don't want to play Oklahoma again. Who wants to play Oklahoma again? We already played them once. Skedaddle on somewhere else. I don't want to play Oklahoma again. I don't want to play West Virginia again. I don't want to play Iowa State a second time. If that happens. If any of those scenarios happen. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. As a Texas fan, I don't want to do that. And I mean, like I said, like 950 times before, we need to add BYU to the Big 12. Please. 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 Washington State needs to win out, and they need help too. Same with UCF. I feel like that they're not gonna give the little guy a chance. But I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. It's a lot shorter this week, this video. The college football playoff rankings. It's a lot shorter. And it's Cupcake Saturday. Which means there's only like 3